Hello, you're welcome to another Havoc Sons adventure video. Oh boy. Okay, so what am I shooting now? Well, this is a 10 horse Tecumseh. I just rebuilt the carburetor on it. There's 1,000 videos to talk about carburetor rebuilds on the Tecumseh, so I didn't want to do a video on that. If you want to know how, just YouTube search Tecumseh 10 horse carburetor repair, and you're going to get a wide variety. What I'm shooting this video on now, so this is a Patriot shredder, and just so you know, the products Patriot, school's out still on this. Originally, I thought they were really great people. I had direct conversations with the owner at one time via email. And then in the middle of it, he got weird. He told me to stop talking to him, that he was wasting too much time with me, which was a strange reply. I was asking him questions about this shredder that I purchased used, and I wanted to restore. I bought throw out this bearing here in the center. I bought this twice. The first one I put in burnt out. So this one I just put in, we'll see. And I also bought this. And in the meantime, I was told not to bother him anymore. So as far as Patriot products, I'm not a fan, to be honest. The throwout, that main bearing shouldn't have gone out. I mean, the crank is straight. I don't know why it did. And the other problem that I'm having, and the reason why I'm shooting this video, also I sharpened the blades on it as well, since I had it all apart, is this right here. This, I feel, is a very poor design. You got this big hopper where you shoot a bunch of stuff in. And unfortunately, so you get this big, huge thing here. Well, it all goes into this little piece right here. 2 screws on one side and 2 screws on the other. And as you can see, and I haven't really treated this badly, but as you can see, it's all cracked and broken apart. And I just feel it's a really poor design. They could have done something, I think, to make the structural integrity of this a little bit better. So what I'm doing is I removed the, I don't know what you call this, backsplash guard. This goes inside here. I removed that. I hot glued some of the cracks, which the way this thing vibrates, I mean, it vibrates like crazy. I don't think they're going to hold worth the beans. But I took an old dryer shell, and before I recycled it, I cut a piece of the paneling off, because, I can always use the sheet metal. And what I did was I cut this piece. I used just a little jigsaw with a metal blade, and I cut this piece. And I'm going to do 2 of these pieces. So what I'm going to do, let's see if I can get this in a better position. Hang on one sec. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 of these, 1 on each side. I'm placing one right here, inside there. And then, I'll cut out where all these things are, so that'll lay flat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rivet it in. I don't know if it's going to work. I might be better off using flat washers with a little more bite into this plastic, because like I said, I think this is just a really bad design. But I'm putting this in, I'm gonna rivet it on one side, and I'm gonna make another one, put it in on the other side, and do the same thing. So this is gonna be pretty interesting. But if I can fix this, they want a lot of money for this part, and I'm pretty sure they sell a lot of these because of the design and the poor construction. I mean, I really think they could have embedded some either some metal bars into the plastic or some fiberglass right down there at the base. Because if you think, I mean, if you look at it, you see how wide this is here going into this down here. I mean, mathematically, that just looks like you're putting way too much force on a very small end of the shredder. So I just feel this is a bad design. Now, I did have this shredder working a couple seasons ago. The Tecumseh engine is a very powerful engine. She's got a lot of torque. She actually did really, the shredder when working does really well. I mean, it even running without anything in it, it's high vibration and a lot of noise. It's a very loud machine. But does it work? Yes, it does. It does shred. So I'll give it that. And when the blades, the front blades, there's two front blades where you can put, branches through here. I think 2.5 inches or thereabouts, and it'll just cut them and shred them into a fine, like a mulch material, in just seconds. And it does do that. And the blades lasted for quite some time. But this bearing, this is the second main bearing, and I checked the shaft, and it's perfectly straight. But there is so much vibration in these blades here, and I've taken them apart. I've done what they've said in the manual. I've aligned them. I've cleaned them. There's just so much vibration that it's just really playing havoc on that bearing. So again, I think that's another poor design, because this engine has actually had 3 of those main bearings now. The original one, the second one I bought, which lasted 2 seasons, and now this one. We'll see how long this one's lasts. Now, I got to give it its due. There are some plus sides. I don't want to just rain on Patriot's parade here. I think the customer service is wackadoodle. Start out really nice, bend over backwards to help you, and then just like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, all of a sudden they just changed on me, because I guess I was asking too many questions. Now, I cut palm branches, those big long palm leaves. Well, actually, yeah, see? Those things, and those palm trees. When every time I have them trimmed, I always tell the guy, he charges me like $50 to $100 less if he leaves the branches behind. Now, all the shredders that I've had in the past can't cut those well. It's just horrible on it. Maybe because I'm doing that, I'm probably overloading the machine. That could be it. I'm not sure. I'm not a professional in shredders, but maybe that's why I'm wearing those bearings out. I'm not sure, again. But, how many times can I say but in this sentence? But, it cut them. It shredded them. And every other shredder I had prior to this one would not do it. Because they're very, have you ever tried to cut them? You know what I mean. They're like a stringy, fibrous, very strong. You could make rope out of that, I bet, and be very strong. And they would just clog up all my other machines. I had a Troy-built shredder. It was such a piece of junk when it came to those things. As soon as I put it in, it would just clog up and stall. I actually sent it back because I paid a lot of money for that. I think I paid about $3,000 for that Troy-built. These brand new are under $2,000, so they're a fairly good deal. So bottom line is, it cut what other shredders that I've had in the past, and I've had like maybe 5 shredders, because I sit on a large piece of property. I have a lot of shredding to do. This one has cut everything that I put in it. So I guess that's a big plus. But when you work it, you be prepared to do maintenance, and don't call tech support. Because I'm sure that the regular tech support people are probably nice, but I happened to be unfortunate enough to get the owner of the company who replied to my emails. And he turned out to be not a nice guy. And these are facts. I'm not making this up, so I can't be sued. It happened. So anyway, I'm probably just going to end the video here and then continue on when I start the riveting process. And then I guess I'm going to have to do editing. Oh boy. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this right here, because after I put it in and measured it, I realized that I'm a little off. So gonna go ahead and do that. May I suggest, anytime that you cut metal, jigsaw, circular saw, sawzall, whatever, wear some eye protection. I learned that the hard way. And when you get to be my age, you want what's left of your hearing. So do this while you're young, and you won't have to do it so much when you're old. Well, you should still do it when you're old, but all right, I've already bent it, so this may be a little bit difficult to cut. We'll see. I don't know if you're catching all this. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, that wasn't the smartest idea to bend it before I measured. So much harder to cut now that it's bent. And it's too thick to cut with a, let's try it that way. Too thick to cut with a, metal shears. Okay. Where am I, my friends? There we go. Sorry about that. Trying to get you in on the fun. All right, let's try this. Okay. Okay, so I've cut it, and as you can see, now fits past the ridge. There's these little fins there, and looks like it's okay now for me to size up. So what I'm going to do now is begin riveting. That's going to be fun. All right, so riveting. Let's talk about riveting. Harbor Freight. Everybody knows about Harbor Freight. Actually bought these at Harbor Freight, but I mean, these are like, how can these break, right? And they do work. So, and they were $3. $1 Harbor Freight. And they stop shit from hitting my eyes. I don't care. They work. This is a hand riveter from Harbor Freight. When it comes to mechanical shit like this, I usually get a little leery because I've had a lot of stuff at Harbor Freight just not work for me. But let me see if I can show you this. I knew I needed one. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but swivel hand, head hand riveter, $8.79. And I never look at that. I thought that was a little pricey for something mechanical at Harbor Freight, but it's 20% discount. Take $2.20 off of that. Now you're looking at $6.50 something, $6.59, $6.59 for all this. Yeah, I'll do that. So basically, what you're getting is you're getting this rivet gun that has 4 settings, 4 heads, 4 different settings, and then this one. They're 3/30 seconds, 1/8, 5/30 seconds, and 3/16. So, and it comes with a bunch of rivets. Because this is kind of a simple mechanical, I mean, you know, you're pressing metal together, you're squishing it. How bad could it be? We are going to find out together how bad it can be. Or if in fact it works. For $6.50, I'm willing to gamble. So, let's start. Now, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the biggest rivet that it has, which is this. And that size, which is the 3/16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my drill bits out, look for a 3/16 drill bit, and start drilling. I feel that the more rivets I do, the stronger it's going to be, and I really don't care how pretty it looks. So I'm going to be riveting the punk ass out of it. Is that such a thing? Okay, 5/30 seconds. 5/30 seconds from my set of Ryobi drill bits, 59 piece. I love it when they come in packages like this. But what I've been hearing lately is Ryobi is really no different than Harbor Freight in most regards, because most of their stuff is made in China. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I've heard. So, you know, go figure. So anyway, here's the drill bit I'm going to use. And I'm going to start drilling holes in the metal, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is just get maybe 2 rivets in, maybe one here and one here, one there and one there, just to get it started. And then once I've got it started, then I'll start riveting from when it's already in, so that I can drill the hole through the plastic and everything. Okay, so let me start with that. Oh, yeah, that would help. High speed, baby. You know, nice thing about appliance sheet metal, if you want to call it that, it's got the paint that's already kind of like baked on the enamel. So it's already painted, and it's a pretty thick gauge. So if you ever got an old washer or an old dryer you're getting ready to recycle, go ahead and cut off a piece of the side, because I mean, this is good steel. You can work with this. And since it's, you know, already coated, now this one I beat to hell trying to move it, and I scratched it and left it outside, so normally it's not this bad, but whatever. You end up with a pretty nice coated piece of metal that whatever you put it on is going to last. Okay, I am not a riveter. I have not done riveting before. It's my first time. So, this ought to be fun. And I already can tell there's already a little bit of a problem. Like, I don't think those rivets are going to go in straight. I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out together. So, I kind of watched some videos on how this works. That's always dangerous. And, that's interesting. Should I go up one? Because it doesn't want to. Yeah, I mean, it looks like I have to go up one. I thought you always went the same size. But I guess you got to go up one. Okay, let me do that. Okay. Sometimes it's embarrassing. I misread the size of the rivet. It's actually a 3/16. So I now have a 3/16 drill bit in here. So I believe that you make sure that the drill bit is the same size as the rivet. I would think. I'm going to find out right now. Well, I went through one okay, not the other. So, let's see. Yeah, okay. So it is. The drill bit is the same size as the rivet. Okay, so basically you put this thing inside here like this. And I think somebody said if you squeeze it a little bit, that'll hold it in place. Okay. I'm going in. So it cuts this little barb off, as you heard. And what you're left with, you see that? Is a clean rivet. See that right there? Take a look on the other side. Yeah, I don't know. That looks a little scary to me. Looks like it's not enough. I don't know. I don't know, my friends. If this is going to work or not. Oh! Swiveling. That's what that means. That's interesting. So you can swivel it. Huh. I know you can't see, but I need to try to get this pushed in. A little better than the last one. Oh yeah, it's got a little bit more of a bite in the plastic. So, let's take a look. This is just 2 rivets. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. And you know what I thought I'd do is do some, now that I've got these two in, is do some this way and then do some the other way. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, let's bring you up to speed here. One. Let's try to do this one the other way. Well, I don't like that one at all because it missed the metal completely. So, let me take that one out. Okay. Got a little help this time. Another hand. Since none of you volunteered, I'm going to go ahead and... Wow, it's interesting. When you push on this rivet, it actually pulls out. So let me try some downward force while I'm doing this. No, crap. Did the same thing. It pulled out. Looks like I have to do it from the other way. Okay, well, I finally got one in. I just went a little bit higher. I think that was too low initially. I might be able to come back to that one. Yeah. So, what? Maybe another one right here. And maybe one right here. That's going to be tight too because it's got to be real tight on it or it's not going to work. Now that I pushed that one in, let me try the one that's been stubborn. And you know what? I'm gonna pause this after I do this or edit this out because you guys don't need to watch me do every single one. Basically, the way this thing works is you just put the rivet in the hole. You got to push down on it to get it started. That's the key when it's thick like this. Yeah, got that one. The one I was struggling with. I don't know if you can see it. Sorry, did I just kick you? But that one's in tight. Oh wow, that's really strong. Yeah, bye. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and edit this out because I'm going to just do the rest of them. And then I'm going to do one on the other side. Actually, this one here needs it more because if you notice, it goes up about another inch and a half. And that happens to be where the holes are for the bolts. And like I said, it's only 4 bolts holds this big hopper. So it's poor construction. Whoever designed this This is a fatal area of this, and I'm sure a lot of people are buying these hoppers. So if you have one of these Patriot Foresters, which, I mean, like I said earlier, that I have not been able to find something it couldn't mulch, but you pay for it. You mulch something heavy duty, you're gonna blow out the bearings. And like I said, this one has 3 bearings now, plus customer service. At least my experience. Better talking to someone from India who doesn't know what the hell you're even working on than talk to Patriot. Okay, so I'm gonna edit all the rest of this out. I'm just gonna let the camera run, but I'm gonna edit all the rest of this out. I'm gonna put one in on the other end. Then I'm going to drill my big holes for the bolts, and then I'm going to put it on, and let's see if this actually does work. It's just for the 4 rivets that I have on it right now. These 2 here, and then the 2 on the other end. It's, wow. I mean, there's very little give. It's very strong. Very happy with it. Okay, coming back shortly. Okay, I made some changes, just a few little ones. It looked like the rivets weren't really holding the way I wanted them to on this section. They did okay here, and then I'm going to have 2 bolts in here anyway, so that'll hold it in. So what I went ahead is I put in 3 bolts here, 3 nuts and bolts here, and that gives it a much stronger connection. Much happier with that. So this side is done. Now I'm going to start on the other side.